Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about two different Ryobi ratchets. So these are little battery powered ratchets, kind of a home gamer version of the Milwaukee like M12 ratchets. This one came out a few years ago, and then this one is pretty recent. So I bought this guy pretty much when it came out, or at least when it was released in the US a few years ago. It has been pretty good, but its biggest downside is that it takes the normal 18-volt batteries, so normal drill battery, and that makes this thing absolutely massive and means that you can't really get it where you need to get it. If it wasn't for that, it'd actually be a pretty good ratchet, and I might recommend it. They do try to get away from the, try to avoid this by making this head rotate. So you pull the collar and you can rotate it in 4 different positions. So that is pretty helpful. But recently at Home Depot, I saw this guy, and it was on sale for like 50 bucks. This guy, I thought, would solve all the problems of this. So it's nice, it's light, it's small, it's compact, it does everything. And those things are true. But it does have one really big downside, and that's going to be the power. It doesn't have any power. This is probably the weakest cordless electric ratchet I've ever used. In fact, it's substantially weaker than like turning a wrench with your finger. So like if you have anything but the cleanest threads, this guy just binds up and seizes and just will not turn it. So if you're assembling brand new hardware, this guy's pretty good. And once it gets going, it'll actually tighten things pretty okay before you have to actually manually ratchet it. The downside is that if it's getting started, if it's just a little bit sticky, it just seizes, locks up, blinks at you, and then just says no. One of the issues with that is down to the battery. So this takes an 18-volt drill battery. You can get those in various sizes and flavors. This takes the same single battery. This is one of their 4-volt batteries. It's a 2 amp hour battery pack, 4 volts. And so most people would say, oh yeah, well this is 4 volts and that's 18 volts. So clearly, you know, the 4-volt one isn't going to be as powerful. And that can be true. But power is the product of both current and voltage. So you multiply the voltage by the amp draw of the motor and you get the power in watts. So an 18 volt can draw a couple milliamps to make a few watts. This guy, to make the same power, would have to draw several amps. And that's fine, and that's what I figured they were doing. Now, I wasn't expecting this to be like a big powerhouse, and if they managed to make it like twice as powerful as it is, it'd probably be passable and very usable. But as it stands, it's almost completely useless. That being said, that really just means I'm not going to use it at work anymore. I tried it for a few months. It's not really doing it for me. But I'm going to keep it in the garage at home and use it whenever I can, assuming it doesn't get frustrating because it just bogs down. But that's been my experience, and I've got a sample size of 1. So if you happen to have this and it works great, let me know. For all I know, I might have gotten a dud, and then I'll have to just maybe talk to Ryobi about repairs or replacement. But yeah, that's a quick little rant on the newfangled Ryobi USB rechargeable. I didn't even mention that. The battery is USB rechargeable. So that means you don't need a charger. It's nice and easy. So this platform has a lot of promise. This tool does not. Now, this guy charges with just a single USB-C. You just plug it into the battery itself. One thing I do wish is that there was a charge flap somewhere on the tool. That way I didn't have to take this apart every time. But that's a pretty minor gripe. This tool is focused more at the home mechanic, DIYer, not really a professional mechanic. A professional mechanic usually would just get the Milwaukee one. The reason I don't have that is because I'm a DeWalt guy, and I haven't really had the chance to try out DeWalt's offerings, and their batteries also are big and stick out. So not nearly as bad as this, but still pretty bad. So I figure we should do a little bit of a side-by-side test just to show you guys kind of how this guy does work. And see if I can get it to lock up on me like it did when I was using it at work. Alright, here is a bolt with a nylock nut, 9/16 socket. And this guy will just go to town. And I think this battery might not be fully charged. It's cold out in the garage, and the battery chargers don't like to charge when it's like that. But get it loose. And it'll take it off. Now this guy I know is fully charged because I charged it while it was inside. This guy just lives on a battery charger in the garage. This guy I used my phone charger. So same sort of story. It's in the on position. Now if I start again, it won't go. Try to reverse. Now I found if you give it a little bit of a kick like that, like a kick in the opposite direction to let the motor spin a little bit, it will do the job. Now for the record, this is how little strength this takes. I'm using my pinky. And yeah, not going. Pinky. So anything but the newest threads, it's not going to do it. So yeah, anything should be able to do a nylock. I mean, a nylock is kind of a hard test, but it shouldn't just, it should be able to at least start. And again, compared to the 18 volt with probably a bad battery, and I ran out of steam. Yeah, I'm not sure about the quality on this battery. But you saw it go for a good long while, more than this guy, before bogging. And this guy doesn't it doesn't just bog out immediately. So, yeah, yeah, this guy not doing anything. So yeah, I really can't recommend this guy all that much. Alright, well, that being said, I would probably pass on both of these ratchets if you were looking to get one. This one because it has no balls, and this one because it's just way too bulky. So I'd probably recommend trying out something else. That being said, even if this guy is a bit of a bust, I am still pretty interested in the rest of this little 4-volt line of tools. I'm really intrigued to see, I think I saw a soldering iron, and I think that could be pretty cool. They also have a little electric screwdriver, which would also be nice. I do already have my Amazon brand Denali one, which I use pretty frequently. And actually, that being said, I think the Denali screwdriver might even have more balls than this ratchet. Obviously, different form factor, different use, but I think this guy would probably stall out trying to drive if I put like a Phillips head bit on this and tried to drive a screw with it. Whereas the Amazon one probably, well, I know it's actually pretty good. It's pretty darn torquey. But I digress. Again, Ryobi, maker of decent consumer DIY grade tools. I'm going to say it's kind of a fail on both of these. All right, so that's going to be it for today. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.